Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is Tramika Craddock, and you are listening to Strategies for Success with Tramika Craddock. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is episode 5, and this particular episode is the importance of being an involved parent. So let me just say real quickly, I am Tramika Craddock, planner, consultant, coach. You can get more information about me and what I do on my website at tramikacraddock.com, my coaching services as well as my planning services. Go there for more information. If there's something that you shall happen to need, please reach out to me. You can reach out to me on any social media platform. I'm mostly on Instagram as well as Facebook, or you can reach out to me directly from my website. Again, that's tramikacraddock.com. I'll be more than happy to assist you. I want to say just real quickly here with the topic of today's video. What I want to be clear about is this particular episode is not to beat up any parents. And I want to be really clear about that. It's not for any parents to listen to this particular video and walk away offended. The reason why I'm doing this video or this particular episode, I told you with these strategies for success with Tramika Craddock, you're going to get a peep into my life as a wife mompreneur and some of the things that I do. So one of the things that I do, I'm a very involved parent. I know that some parents are not fortunate to be able to be stay-at-home moms, to be as involved as I am. So I'm not telling you to do exactly as I am or what I'm doing, period. But what I am telling you or what I am sharing with you is my experience, as well as some information I want to share with you from a particular article that I read, and just tell you in whatever way, whatever capacity, try to be involved. It doesn't take for you to, to be at their schools for children or whatever the case may be, to be there 24/7, but even if it's 5 minutes a week or whatever the case may be, it's very important for us to be involved. So that's what the episode is talking about today. And I'm coming from an article. It's on education.com. I receive a lot of emails from them because I signed up for various things that my kids can take advantage of as far as academically online. So they send me articles, they send me emails, and this is actually an old article that I found on the website, and is dated July 20th of 2010, and it's by Olson M.L. Fuller and Pearson Allen Bacon. And it's called The Benefits of Parent Involvement, What Research Has to Say. So I thought it was pretty good, and I wanted to share this information. And throughout sharing what's in the article, what I'll do is just share, how it pertains to me and my life. So for most of you already know, who I am. I am a stay-at-home mother. Yes, I do have 2 businesses, but I always tell people family does come first. When I decided to quit my job, it was with a ideal of mine or a goal of mine to be more involved, not only in my children's life, but my husband's life as well, and to just take care of our home a little bit more. So that was the reason for me becoming a stay-at-home mom. I started off very slow. I didn't jump right in when it came to being involved as much as I am now. Now when they see me at the school, most other parents, even some of the staff, they'll ask me like, what's your title? What is your position here? What do you do here? They think I'm staff because that's how much I've been involved. And I definitely want to say thank you to my husband because he has afforded me this opportunity. He works really hard to take care of our family so that I can be a stay-at-home mom. So, it does come with many sacrifices of us living on one income, being a one income family. And then we have 3 children. So it does come with many sacrifices. But I feel like the sacrifices right now are an investment that will pay off in the long run when we see our children be successful. So I'm not saying that you have to be involved for your children to be successful. But what I am going to say is just some of my experience, and I want to go into a little bit about what the article say. So it's a very long article. If you want to read this particular article in full, I would suggest that you go to education.com. And again, you can even Google the benefits of parent involvement, what research has to say. So I want to give them their credit, and I'll try to go back and forth as, this is what the article say, and this is my 2 cents that I'm putting in from my perspective. So there's a few main categories here. Is the benefits for the children, benefits for the parents, benefit for the educators and benefit for the school. So, benefits for the children. Children tend to achieve more regardless of ethnic or racial background, social economic status, or parent education level, which is really, really good because no matter if I didn't get a master's or a doctorate degree, that doesn't mean that, my children won't be able to go to that extent. Sometimes that does happen. We do know that sometimes the social economic status of children, depending on the schools and, where they grow up at, you always hear people, well, I grew up in the hood, or I came from, this part of town. And that doesn't necessarily, according to this article, doesn't necessarily equate that you cannot be successful in life as far as academically. So I want to point that out. That was one thing that the article said about the benefits for children. Another thing is children generally achieve better grades, test scores, and attendance. And of course, that's true, because if I'm involved and I'm always there, of course, I'm going to have my children there. And I have seen that my children do have better grades and test scores because they know that I'm there. And some of that is, even behavior wise, I better not mess up because my mom might be right around the corner. She might be walking up on me at any given time. So I better act right so I focus and I do what I need to do, again, because my children know with me, I don't play, or my husband doesn't play. So academically, they do well, not only from me being involved at school, because they just know how we are as parents. Children consistently complete their homework. Children have better self-esteem and are more self-disciplined and show higher aspirations and motivation towards school. I believe that to be very true. Children's positive attitude about school often results in improved behavior in school and less suspension from disciplinary reasons. Again, that's what I talked about. My mom might be right about in the corner or going to walk up on me at any given moment, so I better behave. Or if the teachers know that my mom is always here, they can walk down the hall to whatever office she may be in. It's not a phone call away. I'm just a few steps away to make sure that my kids are behaving well. Fewer children are being placed in special education or remedial classes. Children from a diverse culture backgrounds tend to do better when parents and professionals work together to bridge the gap between the culture at home and the culture in school. Junior high, and I thought this was really, really good. Junior high and high school students whose parents remain involved usually make better transitions and are less likely to drop out of school. I thought that was really good because we currently have a 7th grader who's going to be going to the 8th grade. So within the next 2 years, she'll be going to high school. And I was thinking, like, well, do middle school and high school have like PTA? Because I definitely want to be involved, and how can I be involved at that level? And even today, I actually went to a meeting at my children's new school that they're going to be at next year. I actually went up to the middle school and I met someone who's on the board for the PTA for the middle school. So I'm very excited to know that those parents are very much involved. And one of the parents who's actually on the board at the elementary and the middle school for the cluster said that she's now transitioning to the high school. I thought that was so wonderful, because oftentimes by the time they get to middle school or high school, we kind of say, well, at this point, they're leaders. They'll be able to make their own decisions. You're a little bit older. If we have other children, we tend to focus on the younger ones, and we don't quite go the entire path with our children. And that's one thing that I say that I'm going to intentionally do, is make sure that I'm consistently effective or involved all the way through with all my children to the 12th grade to the best of my ability. So I thought that was really good because, again, you typically don't see involvement at a junior high or high school level. So I thought that was a good point that the article brought out. Now, the benefits for parents, which is really good, because when you think about benefits or you hear about statistics, you always hear, well, the child is going to be better, and this is about the child, and it's great for the child, but what are the benefits for parents? Now, the benefit for parents, according to this article, says parents increase their interaction and discussion with their children and are more responsive and sensitive to their children's social, emotional, and intellectual developmental needs, which is really true. If you understand the environment that your child is in on a daily basis, that helps you to have certain conversations and helps you to understand conversations that may come home. So I know that that's helped us really well. I always tell my husband about conversations we have on the way to school, and he always talk about how that's an interesting time of the day for us. But I believe it is because I am involved. I know, when they're calling these other students by name or teachers or other staff members, I know these people, so it helps me to understand just a little bit more. And because I'm in their environment on a daily basis, it helps me to understand a little bit more once we have those conversations. Parents are more confident in their parenting and decision making skills. I believe that is very true. I believe that the fact that I'm involved, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect parent. I was actually just having a conversation with my uncle the other day, and yesterday, and I told him, he was complimenting me on being a mother, and I said, little do you know, or it may be hard to believe, but I still pray almost on a daily basis to be a better wife and a better mother, because I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that there's more things that I can do to be involved or be a better parent or be a better wife. So I still pray. And his response to that was, wow. And I'm like, yeah, because again, I'm not perfect. So I do think that because I'm involved, I see the improvement with my children. It does make me feel as though I am doing a good job as a parent. But again, I still strive to do more. So that is absolutely true. The article also says, as parents gain more knowledge of child development, there is more use of affection and positive reinforcement and less punishment of their children. I definitely agree with that. As I learn how my children learn, I can't get upset with them when they're not quite getting something, even though it may be frustrating. A couple episodes ago, I talked about my patience and how I needed better patience. But, being in the environment, understanding how they teach and how my child may learn in that particular environment not only helps me to teach them at home, but it also helps me to say, well, hey, this classroom may not be the best learning environment for my child, so my child may need to go with, another teacher or something to that nature. So I definitely agree with that. Better Parents have a better understanding of the teacher job in the school curriculum. Absolutely. A few weeks ago, on my son's first grade class, you may have seen some of the pictures I put up on Facebook and Instagram. We did Show Your Love Week for our first grade teacher, and we gave her so much because she has to have a lot of patience for 5 and 6 year olds. And I always say, as a parent with teachers, they're there with them the majority of the day, about 6 hours a day, so they co-parent with us. So it's very important to understand their role and to appreciate their role. So I definitely do agree with that. The article also states, when parents are aware of what their children are learning, they are more likely to help when they are requested by teachers to become more involved in their children's learning activities at home. Absolutely. I'll always ask for additional information, additional resources so that I can help my children at home. Parents' perceptions of the school are improved, and these are stronger ties and commitment to the school. I totally agree with this, and I want to say, from a parent perspective, this is probably one of the most important things. Of course, not the most important thing, but one of the most important things is because when you're just at home, like when I was working full time, and you're just receiving letters and you receiving communications like, hey, well, why am I just not finding out about this? Or why did they make this decision? But if you're involved in a school, such as myself, and I'm not saying again that you have to be as involved as I am, but when I'm there on a daily basis, I understand the decisions that the school make based on the environment. So, when I'm receiving those letters, I've already probably heard about the transition that's going to take place. And then it just makes a little bit more sense to me. And it changes your outlook of the school. Because imagine if you were just receiving letter after letter with this decision, this transition is like, oh my God, but you're not really there to understand, or you're not understanding why they're making those decisions. That can be a negative outlook on the school. But when you're involved and hey, they're making this decision because of this, it kind of makes more sense to you. And I'm only using that one example about transition and decision making, but just overall, when you're involved and you're plugged into the school, things will make a little bit more sense when those items are coming home to you. So it definitely will change your perception. And changing your perception of the school, that's another snowball effect, because how you view the school is going to come off to your children, and then that's how your children is going to view the school, and then that's going to affect either positively or negatively their schoolwork. So that's very, very important. The last one for benefits for parents is parents are more aware of and become more active regarding policies that affect their children's education when parents are requested by the school to be a part of a decision-making team. Absolutely. If I'm involved, again, I may work a full-time job where I may be a stay-at-home mom, but if I am involved because my child's education is a priority to me, if the school calls me about making a decision and it directly affects my child, then absolutely I want to be involved. I want to make that meeting, and and I want to be there to put some type of input. And that just all comes with being involved. So the next category is benefits for the educators. When schools have a high percentage of involved parents in and out of schools, teachers and principals are more likely to experience higher morale. That's really good. Teachers and principals often earn greater respect for their profession from the parents. Consistent parent involvement leads to improved communication and relations between parents, teachers, and administrators. Teachers and principals acquire a better understanding of families, cultures, and diversity, and they form deeper respect for parents' abilities and time. Teachers and principals report an increase in job satisfaction. So that's really good. You want to make your teachers feel good. You want to make your teachers aware of your culture and the diversity or any learning abilities or inabilities for your child by being involved, remaining active, by communicating. One of the biggest things I see here is PTO or PTA. You know, when you serve as a member or you serve even as a board member, you're that gap between the educators and the families or the children, the parents, and you're able to bridge that gap by being involved. You're hearing both sides of the fence. You're hearing the educator side and you're hearing families, parents, children side, and you're able to bridge the gap so that everything flows nicely. So I thought that was very, very important for the benefits of the educators. The last category here is benefits for the school. Schools that actively involve parents and community tend to establish better reputations in the community. I definitely agree with that. Schools also experience better community support. School programs that encourage and involve parents usually do better and have higher quality programs than programs that do not involve parents. So again, I didn't give you these four categories, benefits of children, parents, educators, and school to beat up on anyone. I have been a parent that worked full time, so I understand, you know, when you have multiple children, even if you're a single mom or you're working full time, you may be in school. It's hard to be involved. One of the things that I would say reach out to the teacher, or if you're not already a member of your PTA or your PTO board, reach out to them and see what you can do. It may be something that you can do over your lunch break, clipping newspaper articles or box tops or something of that nature. And, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean because I'm doing it at work or I'm not at the school that my child won't realize that, because they can. That's also a talking point. You know, if you come home and you have these clippings on the table, or if you're actually doing the clippings at home and the child's like, hey, mom, what are you doing? You know, you can tell them I'm doing this for your school because they're doing such and such. I think my children really appreciate the fact that they know about a lot of events before the rest of their friends know about it, because this year I have been planning them as the special events chair on the PTO board. So just reach out to the teacher, become a member, go to the meeting, see what you can do. That may only be 5 minutes per week, an hour per week, a few times a month. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to always show up and be on campus or be present at every particular event. If you can do those things, I definitely know that there is a need with serving on a board, that there's always a need for parent involvement and presence. But if you're not able to do those things, we definitely understand. And I can almost guarantee you that someone on a board or another member or teacher can tell you what you can do to help. It may just be giving them copies or buying supplies for the class. That's being involved. It may be just coming in for one day to read a book to the class. That's being involved. And I can almost guarantee you that a teacher or someone on a board or any type of administrator will be happy to let you know what you can do. Just show up, you know, through email, through a phone call. Even if you're dropping off or picking up, just show up and let them know the amount of time, and be honest with yourself. If you don't have hours to give in, nobody's requiring you to do that. It's just making an intentional step to be involved in your children's education. So be honest with them about the time that you're able to sacrifice. You know, it may be none this month, but you may have 2 hours next month. Be honest with yourself about the time that you can give. Let them know, hey, I'm free between these particular hours, or this is what I can give. I can almost almost guarantee you that they'll find something for you to be involved. Being involved doesn't always mean volunteering and doing stuff for the school or showing up at the school or clipping box tops, things of that nature. Being involved sometimes with homework. You may not be able to do it every night because you're tired or you have late shifts, but maybe you designate a time on the weekend where you can say, hey, well, at this particular time for this amount of time, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, let me help you with your homework. Show me what you're doing in school. Those are different ways to be involved. You had younger kids just reading them a book before they go to bed or at night. And I understand that it takes more out of us, and that is totally a sacrifice. I can't tell you how tired I am sometimes. I'm tired making this video right now. And it's just that extra few minutes is going to be a great investment for a great increase, not only in your children's life, but in your life as well. Because when they do well, you feel good, right? Because you're the parent and you know you're doing good by them if they're doing good. So, again, this video was not to beat up anyone. My tip of the week, I'm going to actually go right into that. My tip of the week is to find some way where you can either be involved or be more involved in your child's education or in your child's life. So that's my tip of the week. And this is my episode 5, the importance of being an involved parent. So I hope that that's helped someone. I have tons of ideas. I have tons of strategies and tips on how to do that, how to incorporate it. Well, being a single mom with having multiple children, you may be married, but you won't work long hours, work 2 jobs. There's every scenario in the book out there. So it's probably not a scenario that I have not heard, but I have several strategies and tips. If you would like to speak with me a little bit further or personally, you're more than welcome to reach out to me so we can discuss what you can do to be more involved in your child's life. I'm willing to help you with that. So this has been Strategies for Success with Tramika Craddock, episode 5. Thank you so much for listening, and you all have a productive rest of the week.